steps necessary to ensure that when the day comes for us to finally step away from our careers, we'll be able to do so with confidence, dignity, and the financial freedom to live out our retirement years on our own terms. Retirement isn't something that just happens. It's something we build towards. It's not a finish line we just stumble across one day. It's a goal that we prepare for deliberately year after year. And the earlier you begin that journey, the more power you have to shape your future. The power I'm talking about is something known as compound interest. You've probably heard that term before, but it's worth revisiting because it's one of the most powerful forces in the world of personal finance. Compound interest is what happens when the interest you earn on your savings or investments begins to earn interest of its own. In other words, your money starts making money, and then that money starts making money, and so on and so on. It creates a snowball effect. And over time, even modest investments can grow into something substantial. And that's not because you're pouring in massive amounts of cash, but just because time and compounding are doing the heavy lifting for you. Let me give you an example. Let's say you start investing when you're 25. You put away $300 a month into a retirement account, and you invest it in a portfolio that earns an average return of, let's say, 7% a year. By the time you're 65, you'll have well over $500,000, and you'll have only contributed a little over 140 grand of your own money. The rest is all growth. Growth powered by compounding and time. Now here's the great part. See, the earlier you start, the more dramatic that growth becomes. Someone who waits until 35 to start investing the same amount each month will end up with roughly half as much by age 65, even though they've only delayed 10 years. That is the cost of waiting. But, and this is crucial, it's never too late to start saving. Never. There's a common misconception out there that if you haven't started saving in your 20s or 30s, the ship has sailed. That's simply not true. Let's say you're 63 years old and you want to retire at 65. You've barely saved a dime. I'm here to tell you that even then, it's not too late to make a meaningful difference. Why? Because every dollar you save now can reduce the burden you'll place on your future self. It can help stretch Social Security income. It can reduce the amount you might need to rely on part-time work. And if you're still working, you have access to some powerful tools that can help you catch up fast. One of those tools is the 401k plan, which many employers offer. With a 401k, you can contribute pre-tax dollars directly from your paycheck into an investment account, which means you lower your taxable income and grow your savings at the same time. And once you're over the age of 50, you're allowed to make what they call catch-up contributions. Now this means you can contribute even more than the usual annual limit, giving you the opportunity to ramp up your savings in the years leading up to retirement. In 2025, for example, the standard 401k contribution limit is $23,000, and the catch-up contribution is another $7,500, bringing your total allowable contributions to $30,500. That's significant. Now, if you don't have access to a 401k, or you want to save even more, you can open an IRA, an individual retirement account. IRAs come investments grow tax deferred. You only pay taxes when you withdraw the money in retirement. Now, with a Roth IRA, you contribute after-tax dollars, but the money grows tax-free, and you can withdraw it tax-free in retirement. That tax-free growth can be a huge advantage. This is especially true for younger investors who expect to be in a higher tax bracket down the road. Which brings me to an important point. Your investment strategy should evolve over time. When you're younger, you have one key advantage that older investors don't. That's time. That time allows you to take on more risk in exchange for greater potential reward. This is why when you're in your 20s or 30s, it makes sense to allocate a larger portion of your investments toward higher risk, higher return assets like stocks. You can afford the volatility because you have decades for the market to recover from any downturns. Historically, the stock market has provided average annual returns in the neighborhood of 7 to 10%, depending on the time frame and specific investments. But as you get older, that equation changes. The closer you get to retirement, the less time you have to recover from a market correction or a bear market. So it becomes wise to gradually shift your investments into more stable, conservative options. Things like bonds, dividend-paying stocks, or money market funds. These types of investments won't offer the same high returns as aggressive growth stocks, but they also carry far less risk. The goal is to preserve the capital you built, not chase the kinds of returns you sought in your younger years. This process is called asset allocation, and it's the cornerstone of any sound investment strategy. It's not about picking the next hot stock or timing the market. It's about finding the right balance between risk and reward, depending on where you are in life. And that balance will look very different for a 30-year-old than it will for someone who's 60. Now, let's return to the idea that it's never too late. If you're nearing retirement and you haven't saved much, your strategy is going to look different, obviously. You may want to work an extra year or two, not just to save more, but to allow your Social Security benefits to grow. You might consider downsizing your home or adjusting your lifestyle expectations. And you'll likely want to focus on minimizing expenses and maximizing the efficiency of the money you do have. But again, every dollar you can save now is a dollar that can serve you later. Remember that every little bit is going to help. If you're young, if you're just getting started in your career, I urge you, start now. Start even if it's just a small amount. Set up automatic contributions to your 401k or IRA. Let the power of compounding go to work for you. It might not feel like much today, but over time, it will grow into something meaningful, something life-changing. Retirement is not just an end. It's a new beginning. It's a chapter of life that should be full of peace, adventure, and time with the people and the passions that matter most to you. But that freedom doesn't come by accident. It comes from the choices you make today. Whether you're 25 or 63, the best time to start saving for retirement is right now. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait until you have more money or more knowledge